Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. Welcome back to another Industria development stream. Today we're going to be continuing with the multi-block designer that we were doing last time. I don't know why my camera's so high up. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. So yeah, we're going to be continuing with that today. I think let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to show you quickly what we have thus far. Let's also fix Minecraft so that shows up. There we go. Okay, so last time we were at a pretty similar stage. I've done a little bit of work since. So you can now see that I actually got the panel on the left working. So that does now actually, it works as a scrollable list, and I can go ahead and select it, which brings it up in this right menu here. Quickly, I'm going to do one thing, just so that this translation comes across. I just need to build and then reload the resources real quick. And there we go. Okay, yeah, that's better. Maybe not an ideal color of the text. It should probably be a little bit different. I thought I set it to something a little bit different, but I suppose it wasn't enough of a difference. So let's set it to like 80, 80, 80, maybe. Instead of 40, 40, 40 is the default. I don't know. I think that's okay. It maybe needs to be a bit further down, like 26. Yeah, that's better. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. Hello, XNC. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I understood this last stream, so it's a tool for designing your own multi-blocks. Yes, effectively, this will be used to design the multi-block. So I'll be able to come in here. Well, in the world specifically, I can build a structure, and then I come into this GUI and I basically select all of the data about the structure. So right now it's basically saying that all of these blocks can just be any logs, so it switches between all the different logs. But what we're going to work on today is allowing me to change in the GUI what that can be. So right now it just has the name in here. We also are going to need a way to change the actual like chart itself, right? I don't know how I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to have it so when I click on one of the blocks like this, it will bring up a small little GUI down the bottom here, I think is what I'm going to do. And that will be to change the chart of that block. I think that's what I'm going to do. So you could rebuild stuff you've already built, like copy and paste it. Okay, to be clear, this is not meant for like this isn't meant for players, is how we should put this. This is meant for me. And basically just me. I can probably reuse something similar in the future for players, maybe, although that won't really be necessary, which is kind of a whole thing I haven't explained at the mod with anyone yet. There's going to be systems in place where you won't have to actually build multi-blocks, like at all. You'll just say where you want it to be, and the multi-block will be built, but I'm not going to go into those systems. I don't want to leak anything yet, so I think we'll just go with where we're at right now. One thing I probably should do actually is just make sure this text field is disabled unless something is selected, because otherwise that's really weird. So how am I going to do that, you ask? Well, I don't know. Probably the best way, let's find where it's actually created. So it's created in here. It actually does have editable as false, which is interesting. 1 second. Can I actually edit it? No. I can select it, but I can't edit it. I guess that's a Minecraft bug. Which is interesting. I don't know why they made that a thing, but sure. Whatever. If that's how Minecraft does it, then that's what we'll do. I'm not going to bother faffing around changing that. Robots placing the blocks. Not quite. Kind of, but not quite. Yeah, kind of is the best I will say. So yeah, next what we want is the ability to actually change what blocks this palette has. So right now it's always logs. Like if I add another block in here and I connect that block, it will just become blocks, and there isn't a way to change that. I also at some point need to make it so I can destroy this, because currently if I destroy it, it doesn't destroy it in here, which is an issue. So I'm going to need to fix that at some point, but that's also not that big of a deal for now. For now, I think I just want to be able to change it so it's not always wood. So basically, there's 3 different things it can be, right? So it can be a block, it can be a block tag, or it can be a block state. So effectively, that's how it's going to need to work. So that's not easy to implement in terms of a GUI, right? Having that selectable in a GUI. I think what I'm going to have, the way I'm going to do this, is I'm going to have a list like I do with the palette here. The list is going to sit like here, right? And you'll be able to add to the list, but you'll be able to choose what you add. And then, I mean, I don't know exactly how this is going to work. We'll figure it out as we go. For now, I think we just need to start with a list. And I'm not going to do that because I hated working on this one. So we're going to do a little bit of cheating very early into the stream here. And just get it to create the list. And then we can do everything from there. Once we actually have the list, things will be easier to do. So this is why we bring up good old Codex. I'm actually kind of running out of tokens because it used a shit ton of tokens to do this left-hand list. But it shouldn't need to do that this time because it should pretty much be just a copy paste, just changing the internal data structure. So can you create a what are they actually called? Let's see. So if we come into here, this is the actual list class that's used for the palette. So effectively it's going to be a copy paste of this. The difference will be that the entry here, there will be 3 different types of entries. So instead of it just being entry, there'll be an abstract entry class, and then that will have 3 different implementations, which will be tags, blocks, and states. So yeah, I mean, apart from that, I don't know how that snuck in. Apart from that, it's going to be pretty simple. So I just need to tell ChatGPT, can you create a new implementation of a entry list widget? This widget should have 3 different possible entry implementations. Use an abstract class for the base entry implementation. And I don't really need to do this because it will understand anyways, but put a space there. Yeah, so we'll use an abstract class for the base entry implementation. And then basically each entry should store a tag, block, No, we need to say what the actual entries are. So one entry should be for a block. Another entry should be for a tag key of block, and the final entry should be for a block state. I assume it's going to look at this existing implementation. We should be able to see that pretty much straight away. It's going to figure that out. So it should just copy paste this. Is the idea, right? It doesn't need to do anything special. It's just saving me the time, hopefully. It actually might not end up saving me time, but we'll see what happens. Okay, meanwhile that's doing that, I am going to work on the export one, so this bottom left one. We're not going to actually be able to make that function as an exporter right now, because currently multi-blocks can't be represented in JSON format. But we can at least add the two buttons that should exist in that pane and then figure it out from there. So I'm actually going to close the game because we're going to add a bunch of new methods now and a bunch of classes and stuff. So what we're going to want is a private void init export panel widgets. Thank you, Copilot. It knows. We actually don't want it there though. We want it above this one because we're going to do them in order. So palette, then export, then edit. Just a better order. So that's probably correct. Width negative border slice divided by 3, so that's and then minus 16. Yep, that's fine. 2/3 of the height plus border slice to get the offset down from the top one. That's correct. The rest is going to be correct. I'm not even going to check it. All we want, I think, in the export is going to be... I think we actually just want a single button. Let me quickly have a look. I do have like a kind of mock-up UI. I got ChatGPT to generate me a mock-up UI so that I have a design to work towards. Okay, I see. Yeah, so what I can show you guys actually what ChatGPT gave me. So this is kind of the UI it came up with. Obviously it looks shit, right? That's needless to say. It didn't quite understand what I wanted, but it has at least given me kind of a rough layout of what I want. So we got palette on the left, we got edit on the right, we got export bottom left, and then we got visuals in the middle. ChatGPT obviously tried to do it differently, so the visuals are just like the letters, but I don't think that's a good idea. I prefer to have an actual visual, so that's fine. Yeah, so it's basically this pane. So obviously it's given a duplicate export import here. I don't think that's really what we want to do, because we can't really import because of the way it works, right? So the way the designer works is you attach the blocks to the designer. Now we could not do it like that. We could just make it render like a fake thing in the world, maybe. But I think I prefer it's an actual... I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. Obviously, if we could import, then that would work better, but... Okay, actually, one second. Let's look at what this has done, because it has actually finished. Okay, let's just go into the class, because we're not going to be able to read it from here. So block entry list widget. Okay, sure. Not necessarily the name I would have gave it, but okay. So let's look at what it's done. So add block, adds a block entry. Yep, okay, good start. Entry. So we've got the client, so this is done as an item stack. That's not gonna work. I mean, it could work, kind of, but it's not ideal, right? Okay, and then, yeah, so it just draws the icon, then it draws primary text, secondary text. Don't know what the two texts are. I guess we can have a look at the implementations and see what it does. So for the block entry, it's done the block ID. So it's done the name, and then below it's got the ID. Okay, that's reasonable. That's probably would make sense. What's it done for the block state? So it's got the block's name, and then it's done format properties of the block state. So what has that done? So it takes state.getEntries, which is the map of properties, and then it's basically just combining those. I actually don't hate that, funnily enough. It's not terrible, genuinely. That's actually not terrible. Okay, what's it done for the tags though? That's what I'm more curious about, right? What is it done in stack for tag? So it gets the list of entries. If the list is present, then for each entry in the list, it returns a stack. But that's just gonna return the first element. That's not gonna work. Regardless, that's not really what we want to do. I think we would rather render the block, the state, and the tag directly into the GUI. I think that would be better. So we're kind of gonna remove this. I think we're gonna have better luck telling it to do this rather than us doing this, because if we think about how we're gonna have to redesign this, so I mean, it is kind of just gonna work. We have to get rid of this, right? That's kind of where we have to start, so we're not drawing that, which I think is fine. And we have to get rid of the item stack icon, because that's obviously not what we want. And instead, we're going to have a way for it to modify the scene, right? So we're going to have a private final fake world scene. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, first of all, construct the scene. Now, I'm just going to copy that from in here, so like that, and paste that in. Okay, now basically the difference is going to be this populate method. So in here we're going to have to do something depending on the entry. I think the best way to do that would be to just pass in some kind of populate function directly into this method. So you can see populate here actually just takes in a consumer of a scene context. I think we're probably just going to do the same thing. I don't see why I would do anything differently. So this will just be the populator. Okay. And yeah, basically what we'll do is we'll just do populator. That's it. So that gets us the scene, and then all we have to do is we have to do this.scene.render, pass in the context, then we have to pass in the x, y, width, height, tick delta. And yeah, then all we have to do is change these. So for the block entry, what we have to do is we can do the context, and then we can do scene context dot add block. We can add this at block pos dot origin, and we can add the block. It actually needs to be the default state though, which is fine. We could probably extract this into a function. Doesn't IntelliJ have a way to do that? I think we found last time, or on one of these streams, that IntelliJ like just can't do that for some reason. I don't know why, but it just can't. I think you have to do it like this. Populate scene. Okay. Yeah, because that has to be static as well. Which, it is what it is. Okay. So then we'll just do the exact same thing here. So for the block state, it is actually going to be identical. All we're going to have to do is pass in the block state, which will be the state. And then we can just pass state in here. It's going to be effectively the same. So that will just be like that. Okay. I want to format this a little bit better. Let's rename this to context. Context. I think let's have these all on their own line. I don't know, because I don't really like client being separate like that. I suppose if we do maybe this. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay. So then this will just be the same thing again. So context. This will be populate scene, and that's going to be a method we create. Now this is going to be a little bit different, so what we're going to have to do for this one is we're going to have to take that tag key, basically just turn it into a predicate. So what we can do is we can just do block predicate dot builder dot create dot tag. And the only problem is we need a registry entry lookup, which is a minor problem, but I think we can get that from the context. Yes, we can get the world, and then from the world we can get the registry manager, and then from the registry manager we can get registry keys dot block, and then we can just pass in that tag key and import that. And then just do .build, and that gets us our predicate. And then what we can do is we can do scene context dot add predicates block pos dot origin predicates, or predicates, however you want to say it. It's not really matter. And that's basically it. I'm going to change this to context, and I'm going to do that in all of these, just so that's little bits nicer to look at. That's basically it. These don't need to exist anymore. Well, oh, that one doesn't need to exist anymore. Neither does that one. Does this describe tag? Okay, I see. So this is basically to list all of the blocks in the tag, right? Okay. I think you can do... You know, it's kind of on the right lines here. I don't think that's exactly how you do it, though. You can get like let's see what this method does. Get optional of tag. I think that's the one. Yes. Get optional. And then basically what we can do, if list is empty, returns empty tag, we're going to need to make that translatable. So let's put some to-dos in here. Localization. Do the same thing here to do localization. And just check for anywhere else in which we might have to do that as well. I don't think there is anywhere, so that's fine. Format property, that's fine because we need that for this. And likewise, this is fine. That's normal. Yeah, I think that's it. Only other thing we need to do is we need to have the ticking. So if we go into here, we can have a look at that. So we can just do this. We also need to have the closing as well. So put that in there. This will be for block list entry widget dot entry, and we can do entry dot tick. So we can have a public void tick, which just does scene.tick, and we can also make it so that this implements auto closable, and then we can just have override close to do this.scene.close as well, and we can have a very similar method here. So public void close entries, which will close them all, and that's actually something I don't have in the palette one, now that I think about it. There you go. Yeah, speaking of, I can also do that. That can just be for entry in children. Just cleans that up a little bit. Not strictly necessary, but just a little bit cleaner. Anything else? Don't think so. Trying to see if I've missed anything. I might need this, possibly. Remove entry. We'll come back and have a look at those. I'm not sure. I'm thinking of working on the SST for Railroad. Do you mind sending PRs to the SST branch? That is fine. Let me just check that I don't have any changes on that branch beforehand. I don't think I do, but I just want to make sure. I should probably commit my my changes on the Gradle tab branch. Leave changes. 1 second. Let me have a look. I don't think I did have any because I think I got rid of, or no, I think I committed everything. Yeah, I did. I committed everything, so that's fine. Yeah, that's fine then. Okay, let me restore my changes. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. You can PR to that branch. I'm probably going to work back on Railroad soon. I can't just leave it forever. Start by rebasing it with develop since it's way out of date. Sure. I don't think you really need to, because I don't think it actually changes anything outside of those classes. So like it's not strictly necessary, but sure, you can do that if you want. But yeah, like it won't actually cause any issues on merge. Anyways. Okay. So yeah, let's go into here. And inside of here, what we can do is basically this. Let me quickly go ahead. Okay, this, for example, we can actually make this a lot simpler now, right? So we can just do this.paletteNtryList close entries, which makes that a little bit nicer. We can do the exact same thing on... We find this is a method, the remove method, which I can't find. Remove, no, not this one. No. Excuse me? Is it not called remove? Is it called close? Oh, wait, this is close. Oh, no, never mind, that's fine. So I can just do this.palette, this entry dot close entries, and then I can do that as well. Once again, I don't think that's really necessary, but I'm gonna do that anyways. So then let's also have a private block entry list widget, which will be the no, not that. It will be, I don't really have a good name for it. It does need some small tweaks to compile though. It does? Oh, it might have some errors in it. I don't know. I honestly haven't been working on it in like a way to get it to compile. Like, I'm just kind of working on it as it goes, not necessarily working on it to get it ready to merge, if you know what I mean. Ideally, I really should have had it on my fork rather than on the actual Railroad repository, but it is what it is. I didn't think of that at the time. Okay, yeah, so I can't think of, like, what do I want to name this? I could just call it block entry list widget. I don't really know. What is it? It's a... Let's just call it that. We can change it later. Rather than faffing around trying to name it correctly for ages, let's just not do that. And let's actually create the friggin' thing instead. So maybe what else? We have to where's the other one? Here. So that adds that, and then it does a selection listener. We don't... We might need a selection listener. Maybe. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Let's also rename this method as well. Let's call this palette panel, just so it's consistently named. Let's also do this as well. So yeah, if that's not equal to null, close entries, set it to null. And then we're also going to have to do the close method as well. We're going to have to do the ticking. Copilot? Hello? Okay, fine. I'll do it myself. Okay, thank you. It did actually kick in after a while there. Do we need this? Yes, we do need this. Okay, let's do that. you go. And do we also need that on mouse clicked as well? I don't remember. Yes, we do. That should probably... We also have mouse dragged as well. I'm just wondering, like, this one should probably be with the other ones rather than having it kind of separated. So then we have mouse scrolled, mouse click, mouse dragged. That's just a little bit easier to deal with. Draw background, draw border overlay. Then it calls draw background. Fine. Draw background calls palette, export, edit. That's fine. Those are in order. And then we've got render. And then we have all the other shenanigans down here. We'll deal with those later. I'm thinking also maybe I'm going to export this as a class. I don't suppose I can just do that, can I? Widget. Wait, what? Okay. Okay, it's saying some things. I think that's fine. I don't know entirely what it just did. We'll have a look. Oh, also that, yeah, that's not ideal. Let's have a look at what that's actually done. Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we can either make those public or we can pass them in. I would rather make them public, I mean. So scene specifically, I'm going to make a getter for that. I don't want that to necessarily be like public on its own. Now public methods should probably be below the private ones. Wait, world scene, get scene, boom. So then that can just be replaced with get scene. Select piece, we can just make this one public. And then we have cached predicate, which I think we can just make public. No, not make public. Make a getter for, I mean. So let's do get cached predicates. Let's not do that. There you go. And then that can just be replaced with that. Nice. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's fine. All good. And that also just makes this class a little bit shorter as well. Not much shorter, admittedly, but a little bit shorter. So I'll take that as a win. Nice. So next thing to do is to make it so when we go ahead and actually select one of the palette entries, that it will go ahead and actually modify this list pane as well. Now that should probably be easier said than done. Let's be honest. So hello Fortnite, welcome to the stream. Let me just close that. Okay. So this is going to be a real pain in the butt here. So we're going to have to figure this out. So let's figure out how the name currently does its thing, because I don't remember. So set change listener on palette name changed. No, it's the other way around. We're looking for some method relating to selection, which will probably be this one. So on palette entry selected. Okay, interesting. Do you know how to make multi-blocks in NeoForge as well? Sure. It's exactly the same. When I say exactly the same, I mean it's exactly the same. It literally isn't any different. So yes, I do. Okay. So clear entries. If has selection. What is this doing? Chart is equal to that. Then it no. So what we need to do except for mappings, yes, except for mappings. Mappings will be the only thing that's different. Also, why is this complaining? Why did I make that protected? I meant to make that public. Oh, wait, what the fuck? This isn't the method I thought it was. Wait, why is that protected? Okay, yeah, we don't want that to be protected. That needs to be public. So clear entries needs to be public. Okay, so then we just clear the entries. Okay, that's good. Then what we need to do, let's have a look at what this has done. So it gets the palette char, and it gets the piece entry. If the palette char is equal to the palette char, yeah, not quite though. The problem is the way that I've designed the structure here. I think what I can do, I don't think I need that. I think I can just get this selected palette entry. And can't I just, yeah, I can just get the char from that. But can I also, yes, I can also get the predicate from that as well. Which, yeah, that's the predicate. So then what I can do is, I think from the predicate, yes, I can basically get the three different things. So I can get the blocks, I can get the state, and then there isn't actually a tags thing in here, which kind of is annoying. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that kind of does throw things off. Because I mean, even the state doesn't really work, because the state gets you a state predicate, which doesn't help. Okay, in that case, we're going to have to restructure what data we store. So instead of storing a block predicate, we're actually just going to have to store what it is. Also, let's decompile this so it stops friggin' complaining at me. Should give that a second to do that. Yeah, okay, we're just going to have to store different data then. So what we'll have to do, yeah, now it's decompiling. That's probably going to lag the stream as well for a second. Whilst it utilizes my entire CPU. Okay, so yeah, what we can do in here, right now we just do this dot predicate. How come you get the option to decompile with VineFlower? It never appears for me, it's confusing. Because you're probably using NeoForge. And NeoForge doesn't support vine flower. I think they only use forge flower, I think, which is like a fork of fern flower. But it's not as good as vine flower. I don't think they support vine flower. Maybe they do nowadays. I'm actually going to have a look. Vine flower. No, they don't use vine flower. Gemini seems to suggest they use it for some internal stuff, but I don't necessarily know that's true. I wouldn't trust Gemini to know that. Does seem to be used actually. 1 second. It is actually a dependency of Neoform, so I don't know, maybe they do use it for something. Hello Wide, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Yeah, I don't know. I don't entirely know if Neoforge uses vine flower or not. I'm pretty sure they still use forge flower, which is what Forge used to use. I don't think they've migrated from that, but maybe they have. I wouldn't know because I haven't used Neoforge, like, at all. I just haven't touched it, so I couldn't tell you. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, yes, I was changing the data that we store. So right now we are storing in here a block predicate. When are you going to move Industria to multi-loader, or will you not? That is a very funny question, right? I do not plan on ever doing that. If I was going to do that, I probably should have done that from the start. I strongly don't believe it would be possible to do that at this stage. I mean, maybe, but like I don't know. I'm like so deep into Industria at this point that I think doing that would be a complete rewrite, like pretty much from scratch. I mean, I don't know. Maybe in the future I will consider it. If I do, I will have to consider it in the near future because obviously, you know, the further I go in, the more I will have to rewrite if I decide to do it. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to migrate this to Mojang mappings, right? I'm probably going to do that when I update to 1.21.11. So once this multi-block PR is like done, what I will do is I will merge that back into main, and then I'll also go into the Lumen depths. I'll do a little bit more work on that. I'll merge that back into main as well, and then basically from there I'm then gonna update to 1.21.11 on a separate branch, merge that back into main, and then I'm going to migrate from Yarn to Mojmap. That's kind of my plan right now. And the reason I'm doing it like that is because if I think if I tried to migrate to Mojmap before updating to 1.21.11, I would very much struggle with like the naming, right? I kind of remember most of the Mojmap names, but not perfectly. So I would get lost, probably. I would fuck something up. Aren't they still working on that unobfuscation for MC? Yes, but that's why I need to migrate to Mojmap. Because I obviously won't be able to use yarn anymore. So yeah, I mean, once I've migrated to Mojmap, it will be a lot easier to convert to multi-loader. So maybe, I mean, that's the kind of thing where once I've updated to 1.21.11 and I'm on Mojmap, I will look into it. But there's no promises. I mean, the thing is, right? You can just use Industria connector. I'm pretty sure it will just work with Industria. I'm not doing anything weird anywhere, so it in theory should just work. So Industria should just run on NeoForge anyways. But obviously, if I can make it multi-loader, that's better. But you know, we'll see. The only thing, the major thing will be energy, right? Because obviously that's very different, and just capabilities in general, like that's going to be interesting. I don't entirely know how that works. Since your connector will only work on certain mods, it basically just hope it works as a support one. It should work. Generally, it works unless you have like mix-ins into code where Forge and Fabric, or Forge and or Fabric are putting stuff in there, right? Because then the line numbers diverge and it doesn't work. From my understanding, that's basically the only time it doesn't work, which is most mods, which is why most mods don't work out the box. But yeah, Industria doesn't do many mix-ins. Like if I go into the mix-in folder, you can see I have a lot of mix-ins. They actually, I don't think most of them actually work anymore. So I will probably have to just remove all of these mix-ins at some point and do that from scratch. I also have a couple in here, but like these are minor mix-ins. I think this one's just for the, yeah, this is just the arm position stuff. And then I've also got the debugging for drawing slot numbers, but that's meaningless. I don't remember what I used this for. What do I use this for? Oh, for the wood sets. Yes, for signs. For signs, you have to basically set the list of blocks for the block entity type. And then this... You know what? We're not even going to talk about this. Let's just close that file and not come back to that. Let's continue. So where were we at? Yes, we were trying to get rid of the predicate. So what I want to do is replace the predicate with some other type of data structure. I'm going to make a data structure for that. What does your data gen folder look like? This is what it looks like. It's kind of big. You have 1,000,000 trillion mix-ins. Yeah, but most of them are just to add a new fluid. Like that's it. That's what most of them are. It's just for fluids. Which is why a lot of them don't work, because I actually didn't test a lot of them. I just assumed they worked. But it turns out they actually cause a lot of problems. You know, it is what it is. Okay, so where am I going to make this data structure? I don't know. Let's go in here. We have the piece data somewhere. Where's that? Here. Yeah, so right now this just stores a predicate, which is okay. It is also not ideal. What do I want to replace that with? I don't know. I'm gonna want some kind of class. I'm gonna want like it'll be a record first of all. It will be a I don't know what to call it. It's like see, a block predicate is a really good name for this because it just kind of is that. It's like a... I'm gonna call it a varied block list, but I'm probably gonna... Well, I say I'm gonna rename that. I'm probably not gonna rename it because I'll probably completely and utterly forget about it, but I think that'll do for now. How often do you use Shift Alt F10? I don't know what Shift Alt F10 does. And I'm going to Google it so that I don't press it. And it does something I don't want it to do. It gives you the drop down menu of the run configurations. Why would I ever do that though? If I wanted to do that, I would just click on it. What? Like, why? Do I trust you? Shift Alt F10. Okay, what that did is that turned on NVIDIA Instant Replay. That's all that did. It didn't do anything else. So I don't know. I think it's just Alt F10. Alt F10? No, that didn't do anything. I don't know. So let's try. We can have a name. I don't want to give it a name though. Wait, does this have a name? Yeah, this does have a name. Okay, I thought so. Okay. So yeah, what we want is a list of block, which will be block list. Sure. We're also going to have a list of block state, which will be state list, and then we're also going to have a list of tag key of block, which will be tag list. And we're going to import list, of course. Then what we're going to do, we're going to make a codec. Codec of type varied block list, which will be codec, which is equal codec. What is it? Record codec builder. Dots. Do we need a codec or a map codec, actually? One sec. Just a normal codec. Okay. So create, and that's going to be instance, and then that'll be instance dot group. Then that's going to, yeah, just take those in, basically. Block codec list of... Doesn't like that. What is this? That is a map codec. So I need to convert that to a codec, and then I can do list of. That is a block state codec list of, and then that is a tag key.codec, which takes in registry keys.block, and that is a list of, and then that just passes those in like that. I don't know if we're going to need... I'm also going to do a packet codec as well. So we'll do that. Packet codec of a... this needs to be a registry byte buff, I believe. And a varied block left packet codec, and then that is going to be packet codecs.tuple, or packet codec.tuple, maybe? Yes. And then what does this take again? I completely forgot. It takes the codec and then the function. Okay. So the codec will be block. Hopefully has a packet codec. No, it does not. Okay, well, I do have codec util. Codec util. Do I not? Oh, it's called extra codecs. Or extra packet codecs. Do I have a way to... No. I can't just do... Okay. Well... Yeah, that's kind of a pain in the ass, huh? Well, the solution then is just to wrap it. Right? Because you can do a packet codec dot... How do you do it? There's a way to turn a codec into a packet codec. Packet codecs.codec. I don't think it's ideal. Like, I don't think you're really meant to do this, but you can. So, what I will do is just have a private static final codec of a list of block, which will be block list codec, which is going to be equal to that. And then what I can do is I can do that, and I can do the codec of that, and then I can do varied block list, colon, block list, and then we can do the next one. Hopefully block state has a packet codec. No, it doesn't. Okay, fine. I don't suppose tag key has a packet codec. It does. Let's go. Registry keys dot block. Okay, that's fine. And then that just needs to become a list, and the best way to make that a list is to use extra packet codecs dot list. I have a list method, right? List? Really? I have set of, but not list of? What? Why? Why do I not have list of? Oh, is it because you can do packet codecs dot list, can't you? No, packet codec dot list. No? Huh. Okay, in that case, I'll make a list of method. Sure. Okay. I just need to find my set method. I can't find it. No, not that one. Have I gone past it? I must have. Must have been at the top. Encode, decode, get, register. Aha. Literally right here. Okay. Public static B extends byte buff. It's basically going to be the same. But it's going to be a packet codec of B list of V, which will be a list of, like that. That's not right, that's sure. And then all I can do is list of that. Okay, fantastic. I probably shouldn't make a packet codec of a list. It might be better to maybe do this and then do extra packet codecs dot list of that. And the same might be true with this. right? Maybe instead of having a codec of a list of block, I should have a codec of a block, which is a block codec. And then I can do list of like that. Like that. And then I can do extra packet codecs dot list of, which is just a bit more consistent, right? I should probably actually put this in, you know, I am going to do that. I'm going to move this, move members, and I'm going to move that to extra codecs. Boom. Which is, yeah, that's better. Okay, fantastic. I don't know if you're meant to, I don't remember if you're meant to use codec.list or if you're meant to do list of. I actually don't think it matters. I think they do the exact same thing, don't they? So I think that's probably fine. Alt-Shift F10. No, that doesn't do anything. I don't know what to tell you. That just does instant replay. Yeah. Okay, so that's packet codec. Do I need anything else? I don't think so. So now all I can do is I can sort a varied block list, which will be the, I'm just going to call that block list. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to do varied block list codec, boom, like that. That will then take in a varied block list, which will be block list, and then this block list is equal block list. This will also be a varied block list, boom. And then this will be that. I'm also going to make a constructor for that though. So I'm going to do a public varied block list. And that will just call that. I don't want that to use list of though. I just want to use a new array list. But what I can also do is make a unmodifiable empty, like that. I probably won't need that, but I'm going to do that anyway. And then that can just be like that. Okay. So, that breaks a bunch of shit, of course, needless to say, but that's fine. So yeah, here that just sets the default to logs, which is expected. So what we need to do is have a varied block list, have a varied block list, set that there, and then this does add predicates. Kinda. I'm actually gonna not make this a predicate and instead make this a varied block list. Like that, and then just rename this as well to add block list. And then rename this to varied block list. And then this takes in block list. This then gets renamed to varied block list. Placed varied block list. Then we can go in here, rename this to varied block list. Change this to varied block list. Okay. That breaks something here because this now needs to become a varied block list. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, actually, I think. I guess this can be, sure, placed varied block list. This obviously doesn't like that because this now needs to become... what is this used for again? Oh, right, yeah. I think it's only used in this stuff, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, that's fine. That just means that this can become a varied block list renderer. This can now take in a varied block list, which will be the varied block list. This probably should be a thing. Yeah, so let's do this then. Create that as a method. Registry entry list of... Ooh, that's not really going to work, is it? Okay, we can have a... Let's have a block state. Let's just make this a list of block state. And let's call this all states. Right, like that. So that does state list, then that does for all block and block list, add the default state, and then we need to do the tag list as well. That just means that this needs to take in a registry entry lookup of a block, which will be the block lookup, and then we can use that for the state. So for tag and tag list, we get the entries. This is a named this of a... Is it just named of block, or is it named of... Yeah, it is. Okay. And then this is a registry entry of block. Okay, and then that just adds all of those. Lovely. So then that gets us the all states. So then we can just do here all states, and that will just need to take in world dot get registry manager dot not recipe manager, registry manager dot get off row registry keys dot block. Okay, that then gets us a list of states. Okay, if states.size is less than or equal to 0, which is the same as just doing that, then yeah, we return. What it might be nice to do, rather than calling this every single time, which could be kind of computationally expensive, bearing in mind it's every single frame, it would be nice to just have a quick return in here. So just say if block list is empty and tag list is empty, well, I guess actually it isn't that computationally expensive, because It makes a new list. State list might be empty, so that would just make an empty list. This loop won't run if it's empty, and this loop won't run if that's empty. So actually, this isn't that computationally expensive at all. It's actually nice and simple. So that's fine. Okay. So yeah, this needs to be block state. This will be renamed to state. Let's get rid of that. And then let's just render the state. And that's it, I think. Obviously, we're going to need to fix everywhere where this is used. So here, for example, piece.predicate now doesn't exist, but instead we can get a varied block list and grab that from here. Nice. And we can just pass that in. So that's now block list. Nice. Okay. And anywhere else? The last one is in here. So yeah, that one's already fine because that one already uses that. So I think that's it, actually. I will just search for predicates. Yeah, so this, for example, needs to be renamed to varied block lists. And I assume we have some more. So add predicate, for example, will need to become add varied block list. This will need to be renamed to add varied block list. Nope, this will just need to be renamed to just varied block list, I mean. This will need to become a varied block list. Replace predicate needs to be renamed to replace varied block list. Remove predicate will need to be renamed to remove varied block list. And this will be need to varied block lists. This will be need to be renamed to clear varied block lists. This will need to be renamed to set varied block lists. I think. Maybe? I don't know. Something like that. This will need to be varied block list offset. And we have a couple more. So this needs to be varied block list. Rename that to varied block list. This needs to be new varied block list. And we have one more, which is in the built scene as well. So this will be varied block lists. I assume the builder also isn't going to work. Oh, it actually is. Okay. Yeah, no predicates in there. Okay. So get rid of that just to make sure. Hello, Aleatoria. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this needs to be block list, and that will need to become a new varied block list. That just needs to be new array list, and then list.of or new array. It needs to be a new array list of list.of, which I don't like, but it is what it is. How are you feeling today? I am feeling okay. I guess. I don't know. It's kind of annoying in a way every time someone asks that. Not like in terms of like don't ask that, but like every time I kind of have to say I'm fine, but like I'm always, or like pretty much always, in like a lot of pain. But in terms of like on a scale of like normal to like bad, I'm always like normal, so I have to say I'm fine. You know, someone will get it. It's a very weird thing. Wait, yes, this is shared varied block lists. It's a whole thing, man. So I'm always saying I'm fine when I'm like actually. I mean, I'm pretty good at coping with pain, to be fair. But wait, I'm lost. I'm lost, chat. Wait. How have I just got lost? I've just completely lost what I was looking at. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. I'm back on track. I'm confused because this was called block list. Varied block list, but everywhere I've been referring to it as oh, hello? As varied block list. Yeah, sure. Let's keep some consistency. And then that's shared varied block lists, which is erroring because this is a predicate, which is actually a varied block list. Okay. This is a tongue twister, man. So this now needs to return a varied block list, which does that by doing that. And then where are we at now? We then go we have a few errors here, which is this. So this needs to be, instead of set palette predicate, this needs to be set palette. These method names are getting ridiculous. Set palette varied block list. This needs to then become a varied block list. This needs to become a varied block list. This needs to become a set piece varied block list. This needs to be renamed to a varied block list. This needs to be renamed to a varied block list. This needs to be a varied block list, and this needs to be... Nope, not that. This. Lovely. Are we done? I strongly doubt it. Let's have a look. No predicates left in here. Yeah, we're not done though, so... We should have this issue, but that's fine, because that now needs to just be block list. Okay. This needs to be other dot block list. This needs to be this dot block list. This no longer needs to be a block predicate, so this now needs to be a varied block list. And then I need to rename this to varied block list. Okay. We have one issue here, which is that this now needs to be its varied block list. And I just need to change this to a varied block list. We can't be that far from being done, right? I think I need to just rename... Oh, that doesn't even exist anymore. Is it just block list? It is just block list. Okay, fine. Let's rename that to varied block list as well. Okay. I'm actually going to undo that so that I can. So that I can choose to tick that box. We should make sure that's renamed. This needs to then be varied block list. Are we almost done? Maybe? So we have a couple issues here. So yeah, this needs to become a varied block list. This needs to be renamed to varied block list. Okay. We still have a couple predicate mentions in here. So predicate changed needs to become varied block list changed. Okay, that's actually all of them in here. I think so. There's a little issue here. That just needs to become varied block list, so that's fine. We do have another error. We have one down here, which I think also just needs to become varied block list. Likewise, this needs to become varied block list, and this needs to become varied block lists. And then we're almost there. This needs to become varied block list. This needs to be varied block list. This needs to be cached. Good name. Cached varied block list. God, I never want to rename this thing. Because this is just... I don't want to have to ever rename this. Because this is getting crazy. Yeah, okay, so I think the only issue now, apart from that one, is... Well, this will now be varied block list. This will be varied block list. And then finally, the last one, I think, is this will become varied block list. That actually broke something here, though. Because that now needs to become varied block list. We're not done, apparently. Predicate nameplates. Yeah, so that now needs to be varied block list nameplates. Is that it? Are we done? Try build the project and find out. Please be done. Okay, we're not done. We're almost done though, actually. So this isn't too bad. So yeah, so all this is complaining about is that... Okay, I'm going to save myself a little bit of time here. And I'm going to make some methods in here to create these out of something. So like I'm going to do, for example, public static varied block list. No, that's not going to do that. I'm going to create a builder. Like that. Yeah. That's fine. And then all I have to do is I have to change this to a varied block list .builder. I can create a create method in here as well. Hello, Wolfie boy. Welcome to the stream. And then all I have to do is add tag. Pass that in. And that's actually even easier than it was before. We do have one issue here as well. This is the same problem though. So this just needs to become a varied block list. That becomes varied block list. This becomes varied block list. And then we just get rid of that. And that just needs to be renamed to add tag, like that. And finally, I hope, fingers crossed, we are done. Yay! Finally. Okay, everything is now renamed to varied block list. I'm actually going to search the entire project for block predicate and just see, is there anywhere else I have to worry about? No, these are all fine. No, let me go. Oh no, these are in project. Wait, how are these in project? Not right. Project files. Wait, what? Okay, these aren't in the project. I don't know why it's saying these were in the project. But whatever. So yeah, the only one is probably multi-block definition, because that's gonna need. We'll deal with that later. That'll be a whole different thing. But we don't have to worry about that right now. Would you be willing to check your keybinds to see what I'm talking about? Although I don't know, maybe it's a plugin I have. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care enough to check my keybinds, because I'm not gonna learn a new keybind. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I've tried to learn keybinds for things like I tried to learn the keybind for running it. I think it's F5, right? No, it's not even F5. F5 is copy class. Is it Alt? I don't know. Like, Shift F10, that's it. Shift F10. I'm never going to remember that. It's just not going to happen. Like, that's such a stupid keybind. So, I would rather just use my mouse. Like, you know, boom, run, boom, run, boom, run. You know, it's no different than going pressing 2 keys on my keyboard. I'm not going to remember. I think I used to use a keybind in Eclipse to launch the run configuration, which I think was F5, which is why I think it was, why I thought it was F5. Like, it's not worth it. I personally don't find it to be worth it. If someone does, that's fine, but I don't. So, just saying, it doesn't really affect me. Okay. So where were we at? Well, we were trying to make it so when we select the thing, that it would do the thing. Where is that exactly? We left it like half completed, right? Because we got stuck with what to put. Am I blind? Ah, here it is. Yeah, so if we have a selection, what we need to do is we just need to add all of those. So varied block list. Yeah, kind of. What we can do... once 30 releases this code, I shall take a look on how you render fake worlds for multi-blocks. It's a pain in the arse, man. It's not easy. I mean, I can show you right now, just so you have like a rough idea. If I open client, Java, screen, fake world, it's basically all of this. So if I go into a fake world scene, it's all of this. So this is the render method. Yeah, I mean, it's basically replicating. No, not world renderer, game renderer. It's basically just copying game renderer. And then it has to obviously do the matrix transformations to get that to render in a GUI, which is just using the projection matrix. I mean, that wasn't, you know, that was kind of one of the easier parts. I I mean, some things still don't work. Like, I can't quite get... oh no, entities are fine. Like, there's a couple issues. Like, fluids, for example, are still causing me a large amount of issues. Nameplates kind of work, but like, I can't quite get the transparent background to render. Like, it does sometimes, but it's a case-by-case basis, which really pisses me off. How do you sneak in here? Get out of here. Okay. Yeah, it's just a lot, man. Like, the main thing is actually in here. No, is it? Is it in here? No, not in here. It's in here. Yeah, because this is what actually creates the world. So this creates the game profile, creates the registry manager, or just, you know, copies the registry manager, creates the connection thingy, and then creates the actual connection, and then dimension type. It creates the world renderer, it creates the world, and then it creates the client player, and then just boom, plonks them in there. I don't remember if I actually needed the client player per se. I actually don't remember. We go here, result. I don't think I actually used the client player. Do I? Maybe I do. If I do find usages, do I use it? Oh yeah, because you have to have the camera entity. Right. Yes. Of course. Yeah. And you use the camera entity to basically render the world. Yeah, because the update method of the camera expects you to have a camera entity. Like, it can't be null, because this doesn't allow for it to be null. And I didn't want to make my own camera class, so yeah. It's kind of a pain in the ass that you have to have that, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff, and the code is quite messy at the moment as well. Yeah. Varied block list. So what we want to do is we want to loop through all of the things. So state list, for example, we want to loop over these. We want to do for state in that, and then we just want to add block state like that, and then we just want to do the same for the other one. So we want to do varied block list dot block list, and we want to do a for loop, and we just want to add block, and then we're going to do varied block list dot tag list dot for tag key, and then we do add block tag, and that basically should add all of those. I think let's give that a run and just see what happens, and then we'll go from there. I think that's going to be the best approach for now. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay. Okay, it's loading. All right, so you guys can't see it again. Why can't you? Why is it doing this? It should automatically match the. Aha, yeah, that's why. Okay, there you go. So now it should match it every single time. Okay. Bigger. Slurry API, heat API, energy API. How many APIs are there? That is all of them. Well, the energy API isn't mine, right? That's just the fabric energy API. But heat, slurry, and gas are mine. I'm also going to do pressure at some point, but I haven't got around to that. And then I also wanted maybe do moltens. I don't really know what I'm going to do with molten stuff. Like, I don't know if I want to have molten stuff be like its own thing, or if I'm going to make that fluids. I don't know. I need to figure that out at some point, actually. But yeah, it's fine for now. I also don't know, like, one thing I haven't thought about in Industria yet is how I'm gonna design like the electricity system. I don't know if I'm gonna have like current, and if I'm gonna have like resistance and stuff. I don't know. Okay, what does this do? Oh, why is that? Oh. It's put it in the wrong thing. Copilot did that, didn't it? You little bugger. Did it? Oh, no, I did that. I'm an idiot. Copilot didn't do that. I did that. Yes, that's correct. Let's put it here. This is actually where it's meant to be. I think I can hot swap that. Yes, I can. So these APIs will be jar-jarred? Yes, they will. That is correct. I think the height of this is wrong. Yeah, 80. I don't know about 88, actually. Because I'm going to want some other... like, I'm going to want buttons here somewhere to add a new one. And I'm also going to want a box that I can type in as well. Let's do 100 there. I think. Yeah. And then let's make this negative 100 as well. Which might get us... Okay, that actually needs to be more than that. It needs to be 120? More? 140? Okay, I see. Maybe not 100, now that I think about it. Let's do maybe like 85. Okay, let's go 80. We just got to get it roughly in the right position. Okay, that's fine. That'll do. And then we can make this a little bit bigger. So this can be like 100. I don't think it can be 100 actually. Yeah, it can't. 120. Better. 125. Wait, wrong way. 110. Okay, that'll do for now. It's not perfect. At some point, I'm obviously going to come through and I'm going to measure things, right, and actually get things pixel perfect. But for now, I just want to get things in roughly the right place, and then I can figure it out from there. Okay, so the camera needs to be modified, so that's not the correct camera. So let me just go into here and see what I did with the camera. So this is what I have the camera as. And then I also do plus 50 on the actual size as well. So let me go into here, because I found it was kind of a pain to get the camera in the right place. But maybe that's just a me problem, I don't know. And then the size, which is here. Let's try plus 50. Yeah, that's better. Question: what happens if I do that? Is that any lighter? Because I'm seeing, like, maybe I'm crazy, and you guys can tell me if I'm crazy or not. But is this darker? Right? Is this darker than this? I think it is, right? Or am I crazy? Maybe it's just like the background it's on, but I feel like that's darker. And I can't figure out why. Like, I don't know if it's maybe because of the Z value here or something. But I would say that's darker. Same with this one up here as well. Maybe it's not actually, because if you look at this on a side-on view, that's obviously darker than the up face because there's a light, right? Maybe it's not darker actually. How's things coming along? Painfully. A lot of refactoring has been happening. That Z value hasn't changed anything. Yeah, this also, like, isn't quite right. I don't know what it's done in terms of, like, the X value to cause that to happen. I want to try and cheat a little bit and see... Okay, what is this for? I'm actually more curious what the for is. Should we have a look at what its descriptor? Count is equal 1, then 1 block, or count plus blocks. I see. Okay, so that's basically the the number of blocks in the tag. Is there? But there isn't 4. Is there 40? You know, I wish you could change the font size. That would be great. But you can't do that, can you? I don't believe there is a way to do that, unfortunately. I guess what I could do, maybe, is I could modify the matrix stat. Can I? Yeah. If I push matrix and then do context.matrices and scale it down. And then pop. Okay, that kind of worked. There's 48 blocks? Damn. That's crazy. I think I need to translate it though. Yeah, that doesn't work. I need to translate, but I don't know what you have to translate by to fix that. These need to be floats. I guess I want to do like this is where my math fails me again. If I want to move it in, I'm just trying to think. Like, say if I want to move it 6 pixels in the non-scaled version, I have to do 6 times 1 over... Is that correct? Maybe. I don't know. Let's try. If we do 10. Maybe? I actually got, like, it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, wait, what is the when it's got the left hand side here? What's that? That's the ID. That's unnecessary. That just doesn't need to be there. It could just be descriptor. Okay, that didn't change anything. Okay. Okay, wait, I'm lost again. 1 second. Let's do 20. I don't know if this is correct, what it's put in here, by the way. Okay, it's not. Let's just see what that does then. I mean, that's not much better, I will admit. 40. 50. Okay, 45. Okay, then we move it down, so like 15. Okay, 14. 13? Yeah, I'd say 13. Okay, the actual, like, exposition of that background is also completely wrong. The important thing to note is that there is a scroll bar here on the right-hand side. So... if we do get row left, what do I do in here for the row left? Basically, we want it to be the exact same. I just do get X. Interesting. What do I do with the scroll bar? Plus width, negative scroll bar width. Get row width, this dot width, negative 8. That's exactly the same. Huh. Render, draw text, blah blah blah. Draw border. Oh, that's this part, right? Do I have that in here? In here? Yes, but it's different. Maybe let's make it not different. There we go. Okay, now the only problem is the height is wrong, which I assume I can just fix in here, right? So here I've got it as 36. What is it on this one? It is 36 on that one as well. Doesn't really need to be 36 though, does it? Even on this one, it doesn't really need to be 36. It could probably be like 24, maybe? Okay, it kind of causes some weird problems, but I think that's probably more reasonable to have it as 24. So let's do the same here. No, not that one. Wait. No, not that one. Oh, this one's... Wait, no, not that one. This one, 24. It's getting confused. Okay, that actually didn't change anything on this one, which is kind of interesting. What that just means is when I render... I'm getting lost, and I'm really getting lost. When I render the text, it does y plus 4. Maybe I just do y. Maybe plus 2, I guess. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then I just need to move the icon a little bit. So like -2, I guess. Is that centered? I think so. I think that's about centered, actually. Let's fix the palettes, though. Yeah, so all I need to do with the palette is I can just move the actual... I should probably not do that here either. I should just move the camera. So currently the camera is at 3.25. If I move it to 3, okay, that's the wrong way. So that means it needs to be 3.5. Yeah, I think that's about correct. So let's do the exact same with this one. So let's just grab the camera. So 3.5, yeah, 3.5. Hot swap. Boom, boom. That one could probably do with going up a little bit more, right? Maybe not, actually. Maybe not. Maybe it should be 3.5. Because this one looks a bit weird. It's actually kind of... I don't know, though. I don't know. I think maybe the text is actually kind of the bit that's being weird. Yeah. Like, this could probably do with, like, +2 or something. Let's also move this a little bit. Let's do +10 as well. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit better. Yeah, this one's fine, but only because it's not that long. Yeah. Not sure. It would be nice to, like, trim it if it went any further, right? I don't have, like, a draw text truncated or anything. That probably should be a thing I have, right? I am gonna actually make that. I think that'd be useful. So just at the very bottom, all I will do is have a public static void draw text. That needs to take in draw context. Truncated. Draw context. String text. Int x. Int y. Sure, max width. Oh, that's fine. I think that's probably correct, actually. Let's just make a duplicate of this that also just takes in a actual text element. Is that right? Is that right? Oh, you can actually do as truncated string. Interesting. I think I'd be better off just duplicating this logic, though. I think that's fine. Okay. So then all I can do here is do screen utils dot draw text truncated context, and then before the color, I can also probably pass in a boolean here. Boolean shadow. Shadow. Okay. Is there like a... Okay, I will do the same here, look. Shadow, shadow. There we go. And that's fine. So then what I can do is, it's got the shadow there. Or text truncated. So we have, I don't need to pass in the text renderer now, which is nice as well. So then this is the max width. So basically it's going to be from here to here, right? So left to right. So basically that's the entry width, I think. I guess I can't hot swap it because yeah, of course. Actually, I guess it's not the entry width because it also starts a little bit in. So I need to do minus. Yeah, basically minus that starting position, but not with the actual starting position included. That's fine. And we need to do basically the exact same thing here. Pass it in. Context. And then just pass in the width. Now this one will be slightly different because this one gets scaled. So what we can basically do is times the max width by like 1 point. Wait, is this the right thing I'm looking at? This is the... Oh, wait, I'm doing this in the wrong thing. 1 second. I just realized I'm doing this in the wrong class. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Undo, 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 undo. Okay. Bring that back to how it was. I'm doing it in the wrong class. So I meant to do that in here. So this will then be this.primary text. This will be text x. This will be primary y. And then this will be text x minus x. I actually don't think that's thoroughly correct. Yeah, I can just minus icon size minus 8 because that's all that's added to it there. So that's fine. Okay. And then, yeah, I can get rid of that. Okay. And then I can do a pretty similar thing here. So I can grab this again. Okay, that just takes in context, secondary text, text X, secondary Y, and then it needs to be that. But then I need to, yeah, do that basically. That would also work. I was going to multiply it, but that does also work. Okay. So if I restart, that should trim it basically if it's longer than that end piece. In theory. Before we go ahead and test that, I just want to consider like what is the next step. The thing is, I kind of wanted a button I could have to remove this, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that. That's just not gonna fit. Have you had a pleasant day? Sure. My day's been all right. Yeah, sure. Every time you ask this, Wyatt, I never really know what to say. Like, my days are always so mediocre. Every single time. I never have like an exciting day. It's always very mediocre. Like, not bad, but not great. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I have a lot of people mad at me at the moment. Like in my family. I don't. I'm not gonna say the entire story, but long story short, right? I got given some Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. From the job work experience thing that I went to. I got given some of those. They're like £150 earbuds. The thing is, I don't use earbuds, right? I appreciate the gift that they gave me, but like, I don't use earbuds, and also I need money. So I want to sell them. But everyone in my family's like, no, you can't do that. Like, that's so rude. But I'm like, I'm not going to use them. So why not? I don't get it, man. I think if I want to sell them, then I can do that. But everyone disagrees. Well, my mum doesn't disagree, actually. She thinks it's up to me. But everyone else is like, no, you really can't do that. I'm curious what you guys think, actually. Do you guys think that's bad to sell a gift that was given to you? I mean, I kind of understand the perspective to an extent, but like, you know, it is what it is, right? Yes. Okay. What I was going to do is I was going to add the free buttons. Let me do that. Let's stop the game. Oh my god, I'm lost again. Here. Yes, found it. Okay, I want to have 3 buttons. I want to have add block button. Yeah. Sure. Not quite like that though. Oh. I don't know what just happened there. Yeah, so I want to add block. And this should bring up like a GUI, basically. I think the way I want to do this is when you click one of the buttons, it will bring up a GUI on top of the GUI. So basically pop a new GUI onto the GUI stack, and then you use that GUI to select the list of blocks, or, you know, whatever. That's my plan. So let's do... I don't want to do this. I just want to... I'm going to leave it blank for now. I also don't want to use text. So I actually want a... Well, I do want a button widget, but I'm going to make a new class which extends button widget, which is going to be the one I want. Sorry, bro. What? Bro. Hide. Come on, man. Okay, basically, I'll say it again. I was given them from the job thing, I was at, right? They said, oh, you know, they gave me them as a gift, basically. I don't really understand why, admittedly. Like, I felt like it should have been the other way round. It should have been me giving them a gift. But regardless, that's besides the point. They gave me them, right? They're like £150 things. So here's the thing. I don't need earbuds, or I don't use earbuds. I just don't like earbuds. They're hella uncomfortable, man. I don't know how people use earbuds. So I'm not going to use them, right? So I want to sell them. But like half my family thinks that's a really bad thing to do. And like really rude. So I kind of understand their point. I think it's because like, so what my auntie said is she said it's the problem is if I sell them, right, then if I do happen to get a job there with them, then like, oh, they'll want to see me wearing their earbuds. And then, but like, I don't know. I don't think that makes sense. Like, why would they want to see me wearing earbuds at work? I don't know. The math doesn't math in my head. So like, I'm selling them anyways. Because initially my mum put them on like Facebook Marketplace, and then like my whole family saw and they were like, "Oh my god, take these down! That's really bad." So my mum took them down, and I've just put them back up on my own account. And I've hidden it from family members so that they can't see I'm selling them. It's just kind of funny. I didn't even know you could do that until I went to go and sell them, and it says, "Oh, you can hide from your friends," and I was like, "Sure, I will do that. Thank you." You know, I need the money, man. I got car payments in February. I got a friggin' do a bunch of shit. It's gonna be expensive. I'm gonna have MOT. I'm gonna have it serviced. I got there's something else as well. It's expensive, man. I need that £120 because I'm selling them for 120, even though you can buy them for 150. But I think that makes sense because obviously, if I was just selling them for the retail price, no one would buy them from me. They would just buy them from Samsung, right? So yeah, I think that's fair. What I wanted to create was an icon button widget, which extends button widget like that. Do that, and then get rid of that, and then just do text empty. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Once I've sold them, and yeah, that might cause some arguments. We'll see. Render widget, I think, is the method I want to use. Yeah. But I'm not gonna use this shenanigans. I'm just gonna do that. I mean, I think if I go in here real quick, I'll have a look at that method again. Make sure it doesn't call the super. It doesn't call the super. Did you enjoy your work experience? I did. It was actually quite good. Apart from going into London every single day, it was good. Because I tell you, going into London every single day from where I live is like, it's just long, man. It's really long. It's like 2 hours in most days, 2 hours back. Half the time you have to stand because you don't get a seat. It's like, it's long. But apart from that, it was pretty good. I didn't really like, I don't know. I didn't really learn anything. I don't know. I kind of expected to go in and like learn some crazy thing that they do in the industry. I mean, it was kind of how I expected it to be in that sense. But I think it was also, at the same time, it was good experience to like actually do it, you know, actually like experience it. It's very different from just hearing about it. You know, like you kind of hear about all these things they do in the industry, but it's very different to actually experience what they do in the industry. What is Copilot doing? Throwing me off my train of thought because it's giving weird suggestions. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was good. I mean, it's a company I would happily work for. And obviously, as kind of expected, they, you know, company using good old outdated technologies. No one is surprised about that on the entire planet. You know, they kind of forced me into using Java 8, which is pain. Even though they're updating to Java 17, but that's the whole thing. Was there any other people doing work experience? No. So it's kind of interesting how I got in. Like I didn't get in by like applying to get in. Basically, long story short, my auntie worked for the company. And she like kind of got me in through like a back door. So it wasn't like official work experience, but it also kind of was. So yeah, it was interesting to that extent. Okay, that's fine. I actually want to do icon height and then also texture height. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't like a traditional like I mean, I don't know. I think in practice it was kind of exactly the same as your usual work experience. But yeah, just in terms of like how it actually happened wasn't quite the same. Why is this complaining? Oh yeah. Draw texture, context identifier, XY, UV, width, height, XY, UV, width, height. Okay, perfect. Icon size. I guess that should just be icon width and then icon height. But yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend people, if you can do it, I would highly recommend doing it. No, and I may or may not have a job out of it. I don't know. I will see in February. If I do, that would be kind of hype. Obviously, I wouldn't have to actually go in every single day into London, which would be good because I don't want to do that. Yeah. I mean, it would obviously be hype if I got a job out of it. Because I also need the money. And the job I would get if I got a job, it wouldn't even be a junior or graduate, because they basically said I'm higher level than that. So they basically wouldn't give me a junior or graduate position even if I wanted one, which is interesting, I guess. Yes, okay, we're going to use this now, so we're going to go into here. Boom, dot builder, dot new. Oh yeah, I don't have like an actual icon for it. Well, or like an actual texture for it. Block icon texture. UV will just be 0, 0. Width height will do 16, 16. And then, what was it? Texture width and height, which will be 16, 16, sure. And then we'll do position, which will be, sure, 20 by 20, sure. On press, for now, I'm going to do nothing. And then, is that it? Yeah, that's it. So then I can just build. I probably want to just do this .add block button. And then create that as a thing. Add a block button. Let's also do another one, which will be for add block state button. And then also another one, which will be for add block tag button as well. And then we'll basically just duplicate that for these. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Okay. So then I just need the 3 textures for each of those. It's going to be up here. Yeah, sure. Okay. So that fixes those. Apparently there's an error with one of those. There isn't, though. Just lie to me. Why don't you? It is literally lying to me. Also, why am I doing this? I literally have Industria.id. I don't know why I'm not using that. There you go. A little bit better. Okay. Okay, so that's the 3 buttons. I should probably get those textures. I don't really want to do anything special with the textures, if I'm being honest. My plan, honestly, is just to have like a dirt block or something. And it will just have like a plus sign on it. That's what I'm planning. So what I would like to have is I don't know if this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work, but we're going to try. Keep canvas size. If I scale this down, what is this going to do? It's going to just like completely jank itself. If I do nearest neighbor. Didn't really work, did it? How can I make that work? Is there a way to make that work? I don't think there is there? I suspect the way to make that work in kind of the best way possible would be to just draw it manually, right? So like what I could do actually, I'm going to take this one instead. Yeah, I think this is going to be the best way to do it, actually. So if I do a grass block instead, right? That actually looks a lot better as a grass block, doesn't it? I would say it does. So actually, I'm just going to use that. I think that's fine. And then if I can just do like a plus symbol somewhere, like here. Does that look okay? Is that obvious? I think that's obvious as to what that's for. Only problem is I don't know how am I going to differentiate between this and a block state? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. I think I had a new folder for icons, is what I said it would be. But we can have a look actually, can't we? Icons and then add block. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. If I do that, we can at least see what one of them looks like, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I think let's run the game and just see what that looks like. And yeah, as I say, we'll figure it out kind of from there, right? Oh, hello, Steam. Don't know. Hello? Why did Steam just close? Okay. I mean, sure. Thank you, Steam. I appreciate you saving some PC resources, I suppose. Right. So, game, can you load, please? Thank you. Okay, so let's go into the world and let's just see what this looks like. And also the positioning. I'm not sure what the positioning is going to be, because I didn't do that. Okay, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? That actually looks pretty good. Why positioning? maybe needs some work. So maybe doing like 58, maybe. What's the chance you're actually going to use this multi-block builder? Well, okay, genuinely, I think it depends on how good it is. Like, if I can make this, like, actually good, then I will use it, right? Because it's good. So it very much depends on how good it is. I think 58 was actually correct. I think it just didn't hot swap. Which is why that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it actually good. Yeah, I think the only the kind of biggest problem with it right now is that I have to actually build the structure in the world. And I kind of don't want to have to do that. Like, I'd like to be able to just do that in the GUI itself. So, kind of what I'm thinking I might do is kind of make, like, a model editor, like, in the GUI. So, what I think would be cool is if I could, yeah, so, like, for example, if I could get, like, the typical, like, what do you call them? I don't know. Let me open Blockbench and show you. I don't know what they're called. Right, so if I could have, like... No, not that. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. If I could draw, like, these, for example, right, and actually, like, physically, like, move one of the blocks somewhere, right, inside the GUI itself, I think that would be pretty powerful. And also, like, these panes, for example, right, if I could have a button here that would, like, collapse it to the left, right, so it just, like, slides to the left, and the same with this one, that would be cool, because then I'd have more space. And that sounds like a lot of work, but I think, honestly, that's not hard to do. Like, seriously, I think it would just be adding a button here, right, on say, this top right corner. When you click the button, all it does is the position of that drawn screen just moves left. I think that's it. And then once that's off screen, it just creates a new button, like, at the top left, that would basically do the opposite when you click it. I mean, that's all that would need to be. In terms of getting the handles in, like, the visualizer here, that's easy peasy. Because when I created the scene, right, I made it so that I can, if I try and find it, yeah, so I can add a callback on any of the render stages. So before entity rendering, after entity rendering, before block rendering, after blah blah blah. I can add a callback in here, which allows me to just directly render something in this, in, like, world space, right? Like, how you would actually draw these, I'm not sure about that. I guess it would just be drawing a line and then having this, like, a cone on top. I don't know how you would draw a cone. That might be a little bit complicated, having a cone. I'm not sure how you would draw a cone. Maybe I can kidnap Basti for a minute and get him to do that. I don't think that would be too hard to actually do that once that's there. And then just having this draggable, I don't think that would be too hard either. So, like, I remember last time someone, I don't know who, it might have been you, Wide, actually. Someone asked, can I have like transitions, like Create has? And I've added that actually. So I can actually set a transform of one of the elements, and the transforms allow me to do translations and rotations. Oh, and scaling. I did add scaling. Okay, I didn't remember adding scaling. I thought I just did translations and rotations, primarily because I didn't think I would ever use scaling. But I guess maybe... Actually, I probably just said fuck it and added scaling anyways, because basically exactly the same. Like, it's not anything complicated to scale it, right? Effectively, all this does in the end is just scales the matrix stack. That's it. Same with all of these. And these just translate the matrix stack. This one just rotates the matrix stack. So yeah, I can add like transitions now as well. So yeah, I mean, it would just be like clicking on a block like I already have, right? So I can already select a block inside here, albeit it's a little bit buggy. So I will probably want to fix that, but I think that's probably fixable. That just requires a bit of math, so that's maybe not my strong suit. So once again, Basti may be kidnapped twice in a row for that as well, because I really struggled to even get it to do this, let alone getting it to do it like perfectly accurately. I'm not sure how I would do that. It's definitely possible, but hard. But yeah, just moving it, I mean, that's literally just removing it from this position, setting it to the position above. That's it. You know, I could have like buttons, like maybe along the bottom or something to add in a new block. I could have a button to delete a block. I mean, it depends on where I go in the future. I could even have like a friggin' tree hierarchy with like folders and shit. I'm not gonna do that, to be clear, but you know, I could. I don't think it would be that hard to do. You know, I don't need to worry about like, you know, this isn't Blockbench. I don't have to worry about like UVs, and texturing and, all of that. It's literally just having a bunch of cubes. I don't even have to worry about scaling, right? It's literally just singular cubes. That's it. Nothing special, right? So in the future, I will probably extend it out to be able to do that. I'm not planning to do that before I merge it, though. So before I merge, I just want to get something like working, right? Just so that I can like do it in the world, probably, like I am right now. And then like in the future, I will probably come back to it and change it so that I can, you know, do it a little bit differently. What am I even doing this all for, by the way? You guys may be wondering. I don't know, funnily enough. I don't know why I'm actually like developing this system per se. I think it's primarily because if you guys remember, right, all of the multi-blocks in this mod right now, let's say for example we go for the drill, right? The drill works by just right-clicking it and it places the entire thing down. Whereas I don't want it to do that, right? So I want it to be so you have to build it, which is why we have all of these like test ones here, right? So I think that's primarily why I decided to do it this way, so that, you know, you build it in this way and then you can construct it by, you know, right-clicking with a wrench. But yeah. I think I am actually going to end the stream here, because basically everything moving forwards is going to take longer than the 17 minutes we have left. Kind of the only thing we can do moving forward, this actually has broken. How was that broken? Wait, what was that previously? 1 second. Let me quickly just have a look at what this is. What is it trying to say? So that's the primary text of a tag. So if we look at the primary text, that is just text.literal hash plus tag ID. So why is that not working? I don't know. Is it this? Is truncated text? It is. Right. Because text is a literal, but I'm guessing like trim to width, when it takes that text in, it obviously doesn't use the actual text. I don't suppose I can use like get string, can I? If I hot swap real quick, if we look at, we can't look at truncated text. Truncated text. Okay, so that's now Minecraft. There you go. Okay, there you go. We fixed it. Okay. I mean, in that case, I could probably just call this method, couldn't I? I think I can, actually. Yeah, I can. That actually works fine. This isn't necessarily ideal, though, because that is getting cut off when it doesn't really actually need to. So what I could do real quick is maybe just get rid of the like -8. Yeah, and that basically brings it to the right length. I think we can do probably the exact same thing there as well, and that would be fine. Yeah, anyways, I am going to go ahead and end the stream here, because there isn't really anything else we can do. Moving forward, the only next things is to actually make these buttons work. And that's going to involve making a whole new GUI that goes on top of this. And then also the next thing after that will be collapsing these panels. That won't be too hard, but once again, it's going to take more than the time we have left today. And I mean, that's kind of it. After that, we'll have to do exporting, which won't be too hard, because we do kind of have most of the multi-block like code in place, and the data structures. But yeah, that is it. So I am going to go ahead and end the stream here. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll be live again on Saturday and Sunday. Probably going to go back to some Railroad though, so we might do Saturday Industria, Sunday Railroad, and might stream maybe on Friday as well, but that'll be on, I don't know what I'm going to do on Friday. I kind of want to stream on Friday, but I don't know if I'm going to stream like Siege or something, or if I'm going to stream Industria, or if I will stream Minecraft, or maybe GeoGuess. I don't know. There's so many things I could stream. So there might be a stream on Friday. Have a look out. and you will see. But yeah, I will see you all then. Good. Bye.